Hi guys, so I wanted to show y'all just a few different things. The first thing I was going to show y'all is some rendering tips, just to kind of brighten your scene or just to kind of make your scene look nice with the lighting. And then the Gobo filter, which is right here. It gives you this type of effect. And then flags, which is what I used here to kind of block off the light so that some parts of my scene would be in shadow. And then lastly, I am going to go over the light editor, which is really nice. I have never really used it before last semester, but I found out what you can do with it and I wanted to show y'all because it's pretty cool. So those are the basic 4 things I wanted to go over. So going into rendering, I wanted to show y'all this website, which I will give y'all in the description of this video. And so the first one is shadows. This is 23 documentation, and it's under lighting shadows. And it's really cool because it shows you how to render glass if you're interested in that, but mainly this is what I was gonna show y'all is just using this to your advantage whenever you're creating your lights. This shadow fall off will kind of brighten your scene a lot, and you want to be aware of that if you use it. So this is really helpful to just go through. I'm not going to go through everything, but it's a good resource. And then another thing, which I also put in the lighting channel for y'all, is this trace depth, which it goes over these different diffuse depths and specular depths, which is actually, I know I barely let y'all see that, but 1 second. So, okay, it's right here, and this, so it's under RenderMan, sampling, and then default ray depth. And so what you would be changing is the specular depth and diffuse depth to whichever one you want it to look more like, which is here. So the specular depth, you can kind of just see how it just continues on and on and on and on. But actually I'm pretty sure it's just a mirror right here. So yeah, you can kind of see like the shadow of the mirror right here. So like depending on how far you want it to go back, it will just keep going. And then for this is the diffuse depth, which will kind of lighten your scene. You can see that the indirect bounces of the light are just bouncing around more and producing more light in your scene. So if you increase that, it will make your shadows not as harsh, like here, how it's so dark right here, and this one, it makes it a lot lighter. So if you want softer shadows, like if you have a really happy scene, you might want to up your diffuse more. If you're going for a more dark and ominous scene, then maybe have it set a little lower. So it just depends on what story you're trying to tell, I guess. And that's about it for this part. And so the next one is the Gobo. So the Gobo I had to play around with a lot, and I found that whenever I use it, so I'm going to right click and then go to Pixar Rectangle Light. And I had already made an alpha that I will be putting in the Gobo. Well, here, first let me hide this. And I found out that, oh, I forgot. Whenever I want to use a Gobo, I have to first make the rectangle light and then immediately add the Gobo filter, which is just right-clicking on this thing and going to Pixar Gobo Light Filter. And once you do that, you can then click on both and scale them up together and move them together. And that's what I did to get that effect on my really half-modeled clock. So if I put this clock here, again, okay, so that's way too big, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Let's see. right? Maybe not that far. So if I have it up there, let's put it down more. Okay, so there's my light with my Gobo filter. And right now, my Gobo filter doesn't have anything. And what you want to put in here to create the shadows is you want to put in something like this. So I just made this. I just looked up alpha, like alpha map on Google, and then I just cut out the leaves in Photoshop, or I inverted it first, and then I cut out all the white space. So what you do now is you plug in this, and you want to make sure that all this white space is transparent. You don't want it to be white, you want it to be transparent. And so you'll want to make it a PNG whenever you export it and put it into RenderMan. So what will happen is all these black parts will be the shadow pieces that will go into your Gobo filter. So now, if we go back into Maya, I am going to go find my thing, which is here. I tried like all different types, as you can see. So there we go. So now it's in there, and you can actually kind of see it right here. And so now what I will want to do, let's try rendering it. And it's going to be pretty sad. So yeah, so you don't really see anything. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab, here, let's just bring this over like that. And I'm gonna grab this light. Actually, I found that if you want it to be a really harsh shadow, you want to put it really close to your object. So right now that's actually pretty big. I had it a lot smaller earlier whenever I was playing around with it. So let's do it like here-ish for now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, and now my light, I'm gonna bring that up to like 1. And also just a quick tip, whenever you're using lights, usually you want to mess with exposure, not really intensity, unless you're doing very small changes in the light. But for the most part, the exposure is what you want to change. So now I'm going to bring this Gobo filter super close, and you start to see something kind of happen. It's really blurry. So I'm gonna grab these guys, move it over, so you can kind of see it happening right here. And now I found that, let's increase that, is that if I move this light away, it will actually start to get clear, which is interesting. I thought it would be the opposite, but see, it gets a little clearer, and I just have to up it. As I get farther away. Ooh. So yeah, so that's basically all I really did to get that effect. So now y'all can try it if y'all want. It's pretty fun. So yeah, but I have it like very, very close to the object, and as you get closer, it gets more defined as well. So that's just something to play around with. So that's the Gobo filter. And the second thing was the flags. So how I did the flags was I just made this weird shape. So you can see in my outliner I named it weird shape. I just had a plane. I can probably just create it again, to be honest. I'll just create it. So y'all can just see that it's just a normal plane. So say I have it like that. And I'm just gonna move this around. Whoops. I think I have it. There we go. Just make some really weird shape, just so we can see what's going on. And it's not just some square in the sky. This is really ugly, but y'all get my point, hopefully. If not, y'all can just ask me questions. But anyway, so there's my really weird shape. And now I just put in a dome light. I can probably just recreate it. I'll recreate it for y'all. Actually, I want to see what I have here. Okay, that is too much, but I don't want to calculate it now. But usually you don't want to go over 360 because you can make that same rotation under 360. But anyway, that's just another thing. So I'm just gonna delete this and remake it for y'all. So put that in the Y, and I just went into my preset browser, outdoor, and did the Annecy, and there it is. And now I had it about like 1 here too, and then I brought my weird plane down to where it was like about there-ish. So now if we render it, you can see, look at that. But you just want to keep it out of your whole, your resolution gate. So that's practically it. And that's all you have to do with flags. And then if you need to hide them in certain scenes, then you can just animate the channel box with the visibility. So like if I wanted to hide or like keep it on here, then I would just key selected, and then maybe on 5, it's on the whole time, key selected, but 6, I want it off. Come on, there we go. So now it's on and then off, on, off. You can kind of see it in this view here if I click in there. Oh, you can barely see it. Ooh, there you go. So that's what you would do to change your lights. Or you can move it if you want it to be a cloud. So that's just some fun stuff. Just delete those. Okay, last but not least, we are going to get this plane and hide it. I'm just gonna get another rectangle light. So now I'm gonna make this huge. And now what I want to show y'all is the light editor. It's super cool. I actually don't know too much about it, but I really like this feature on it, so I wanted to show y'all. So it's under Windows, Rendering Editors, and Light Editor. So you just pop that up. So I want to look and put this light where I want it. And so I'm clicked on this Pixar rectangle light, which is what I'm currently have selected in my outliner. And now if I click this button, this little eye thing, it will pop up this render view. And what it's actually doing is it's letting me view where my light is hitting. So right now it's saying that here is the floor. So like everything above here is no floor, and this is like below the floor. And that's exactly where my little light is right now. So you can see it move whenever I move out of here. And then if I like zoom out, you see? And so if you really want to figure out where your light is coming from and you're like, oh, well, I want it to be aimed maybe right at this angle of my clock. Then I can just get it right there and then maybe scale it down a little bit and then just render it. And that's actually not at the right view, so let's go over here. Ooh. So let's stop that. And look at that. Beautiful. Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to show y'all. I hope that answered a lot of y'all's questions, and y'all can let me know if y'all want any help. The other really good resource, I'll put it in the description also, but it is this, I have too many things up here, okay, and not there, I have it under lighting, this thing, this guy. So this is what Dave recommended everyone to use as well. It's just a really good resource, and I was actually giving y'all some resources from here about lights, and I found that it's been really helpful so far. So I recommend looking at this if you really want to get into lighting or are interested in getting into lighting. It's really cool. They have really cool stuff. So check that out, and that's it.